going on? Let's get this going. Live panel. That'll work. All right. Check, check. All right, we got volume there. Check, check. Yeah, I have it too. Here you go. There we go. I found it. Thank God. I was about to get on and I was like, oh shoot, I know where it is. What's up, Brett? Look at this. There's one that shows us the departures from average too. I mean, look at this. Way under average here. Way under average through here. Man. New York City. Down through Philly. Central Jersey. Oof. Way under average. You've got Northwestern Ohio. Big miss. But look at Inner New England. Inner New England did just fine. They have higher snow totals, but they still did very good. Esquima. Well, let's go Gophers. Hold up. Ay. Did I say Skiuma? I meant Skyuma. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little delirious. Went to bed at 5 a.m. last night because we had to bring my son into the emergency room because he hit his head, started throwing up, and we were like, okay, this kid has a concussion. So it was a long night for me last night. That's why I didn't get on live. But he's doing good. He is doing great. He's doing great now. No judgment. I'm like, what did I say? He's doing great now. Who's texting me? Okay. Yeah, he's doing good now. Yeah, it was scary. Yeah, we were there late. It was rough. So, this is the map that we said we were going to talk about. Charles, what's going on? Oh, I appreciate that, Leanne. Yeah, I found it, and I found a couple other ones. But I appreciate that, Leanne. Special weather statement for Pittsburgh. Anything to be concerned about? Not really. You guys got high winds and heavy downpours. Maybe some hail. We're not going to see any sort of tornadoes or, I mean, nothing that you probably have to get in a storm shelter for. Let's just say that. It's just some nasty weather outside. Wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour mixed with pea-size hail. Nothing super dangerous, but maybe a little bit of damage to vehicles. Oh, what's going on, guys? Shadow, appreciate you. We'll get started here in a second. Roger, Brittany, sorry I'm on late. Nina, what's going on? I appreciate you guys. So, yeah, you guys just got some wind gusts, small hail, nothing too dangerous. It's just going to be a little bit of a nuisance. Here's the map. I think what's even a better one is kind of the overperformances and underperformances. So this map right here. Get this out of here. I understand. All right. This map right here does even better. Oh, look at the southeast. That's so funny. So who's underperformed this year? Who's overperformed? Well, the biggest overperformer of the year goes to, are you guys surprised? Yes. This foot of snow that fell down here. That is by far the biggest. This area received over 500% times their normal amount of snow. They received about 1,000% more than their average amount of snow. We'll talk about severe weather in a second. Huge underperformer. We've seen this consistently through South Carolina and North Carolina. This area has consistently underperformed over the years. It'll change eventually, but this has been the norm. Blue is your white is average. Blue is you've actually received above average snowfall so far this year. Red is below average. Purple is extremely above average. So, I mean, look at this. This is what really stands out to me here. Because a lot of these areas, some of these areas don't get as much snow. Look at this, though. I mean, you know, this has been typical right here in the Mid-Atlantic, New England coast. This has been typical. This is crazy, though. We're talking about North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, central to northern Illinois, Indiana, most of Ohio, not one of these states had a better than normal year. The southern portions. I did say Kentucky did pretty good, and I was right about that. Except for southern Kentucky. I mean, most of Kentucky did good. We'll talk about Long Island in a second. What's going on, Marie? Connor's Tornado Tundra, Connor's Temperature Corner, and Connor's Weather Dungeon are here. What's going on, Matt? Matt, these are our overperformers and underperformers of snow this year so far. Look at this. They've received probably close to 1,000% more snow than normal. Big winner here. Look at you. Most of Kentucky's done good this year, except for kind of southern near the border. This area has consistently underperformed for the last 4 years straight. And then Mid-Atlantic. I mean, this area hasn't underperformed 4 years straight, but this area specifically right here has underperformed for about 4 or 5 years straight. That's Central Jersey through Philly, Eastern PA, Long Island, New York. Consistently underperforming. This is kind of impressive. I mean, big Utah underperformances. Sarah. I appreciate that, Sarah. Sarah became a 4-month subscriber. I appreciate that. Thank you, Roger. Thank you so much, Sarah. Is North Texas snow done? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We absolutely saw nothing through here. Interesting. I'm just looking at this kind of for the first time. Not the first time. Well, the over underperformance map I am for the first time. This is through the 21st of February. We have a couple more snowstorms that are going to move through. You might see this area move into white. We have a snowstorm next week that could put snow down here. So that's interesting. Anyways, and here's our snow map. Here's our snow map, guys. This is where snow's fallen so far this year. Again, we've received not even like 6 inches through Philly and central New Jersey, while Baltimore and D.C. are over a foot. Boston's received a little over 2 foot on the year. Chicago, even though they've been complaining, most of Chicago has actually received over a foot this year. Barely, but they've received over a foot. But the whole year, that's still an underperformance, pretty much. So, Vermont and New Hampshire, central to northern, have been buried. You know, so has Erie up through Buffalo and all those good areas. Matt, what's going on? But interesting stuff. I just wanted to show you guys that. Tuesday is very concerning, but we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that in a second. But anyways, that's what's going on. But yeah, I do think this is the most interesting map, though. Who's big over and big underperformers? All right, yeah, we got a lot to talk about, guys. I haven't even looked at the 18Z GFS. I feel like a lot of the storms in New Jersey this year started out snow and then transitioned. Yeah, or they started out rain and transitioned snow late and you had no time for accumulation. Yeah, it's been like that. It's been like that. I mean, again, like, especially looking at this map, not to keep bringing this up, but especially looking at this map, it's... Let me see if I can get you guys over to it. Oh, it's not going to... Is this going to let me scroll over? I mean, this is just so saddening to see. This little area right here. I live in this little blue area, guys. Everyone around us has received over a foot of snow this year. Look at this little patch. You got one up here. You got a big one up here. But yeah. It's luck of the draw sometimes. Anyways, let's get to talking about this stuff. We got a severe weather 6-day outlook and 7-day outlook, guys, from the SPC Storm Prediction Center. Next week is going to be wild. You live near me, Ryan? What's up? Chance for Atlanta to get snow in March. I still don't think it's impossible. It's just your chances aren't that high. I'm looking at something. Back here. It's so hard to get snow down here, especially third week of March. Usually, if you're done past the second week of March, you're done. The Canadian and Euro see this huge dig right here late in the model, and we'll wait till this transitions through. This right here would probably be your last shot somewhere in the third week of March. This has the potential to bring something south if we continue to see this look, which we might not. Let's be honest. But until that third week of March pushes through, I'm not willing to say that your chances are zero. They're just low. But we're seeing some pretty cold air trying to dig south through different parts of the second and third week of March still. So you're not going to, like I said, your chances aren't zero. One of these could actually get far enough south and give you guys a chance for snow down there in the south one more time. It's happened before. It's not super common, but it's happened before. And like I said in my video today, if you guys watched it, I do think it's still very interesting what's happening with our up in the stratosphere with our polar vortex here. Let me recenter this. I do think this is interesting. I do think this is interesting. Let's just go up. Well, yeah, here we can go. What's our 18Z GFS see? Do you guys see this? This is very interesting. This is our stratospheric polar jet. What is it doing down here, guys? What is it doing down here the 12th of March, right? Potentially. What's going on here? Why is it sitting over Maine? This is what could create a lagging cold air southern snow event into the third week of March. We still don't know if this is going to happen now. So I'm not taking the over on that. I'm not telling you to bet on that happening, but it's just keeping the hope alive for one more southern snow event. Small percentage chance, but it's still a chance there with this type of setup. I think the Euro has a similar outcome with this here, which is interesting. I want you guys to look at this as well. What is going on? Look at the Euro even being more aggressive. This is a separate vortice completely down here. This is again, this stuff can happen in Enso neutral and weak La Ninas because you get such a meridional troughing event that your jet stream's just moving all over the place, throwing a bunch of warm air up in the Arctic where it shouldn't be and throwing a bunch of cold air down in the south where it shouldn't be. It's why we had the coldest January in the United States since, 1988? So, but this could have a cold effect, a cold and wintry effect on the third week of March. If it were to happen, big if. We need to wait a little bit on that. So big, huge, gigantic if. I had someone comment on my VOD from the other day because my live streams upload to YouTube. Dude was so mean. He's like, "You're a trash meteorologist. You have no idea what you're talking about. Everything you say is wrong." What did he say? He said, he spent time. It was like multiple essays, comments, and he said all this terrible stuff. I just reported him. I think I reported him earlier this morning, and then I got a message from YouTube saying that he had been suspended. His account had been suspended. That was the quickest I've ever seen. That was a quick turnaround from YouTube. Good for them. This guy was clearly on drugs or something when he commented that on my thing. I was like, dude, it's not that serious, brother. It's not that serious. It was a YouTube account and the name was like EL. It was like a bunch of little random numbers and letters, and he had no profile picture and no content. So, those are the kind of guys who usually like to troll and be assholes for no reason. I'm here if you need anything. Okay, yeah, Matt, do you want to hop in my stream with me for a little bit here and go over what you're seeing? Potentially, guys. Matt is great with this stuff. No, he was going. Yeah. Indiana, I was like, dude, it's like, what? And he wasn't telling me what he disagreed with. It was just, you're horrible and I hate you. And I was like, okay, listen, if you have a disagreement with my outlook or forecast or something that I said, just tell me. How the nor'easters for New Jersey look? Yeah, Matt, let me know if you want to hop in here for like actually like get on. I can probably pull. You can request to join. I think I can get you in here. Let's see here. Let's see what happens out here with this new 18Z GFS. I haven't actually been. Okay, so this is interesting. What's happening here? This cold air pushing down around. This is actually pushing down a little farther than it was before. This was up here before. We could get something developing in this region. You can see some of the energy here in this region. Depending on how this thing moves in, I'm still watching the 7th through the 9th of March for some snow, potentially through the Mid-Atlantic, maybe Ohio Valley, Kentucky. I'm still watching that. It's not on this latest run of the GFS, but we're talking about 190 plus hours out, so nothing that's exactly on the GFS right now is going to be happening. So, but that's an interesting interaction between this kind of troughing and ridging out here. So something to watch there. What's going on, Fade? Bet, let's go. Yeah, so let me see. Try to request to join. Here, I'll call you real quick.
Hey.
It's super easy, Matt, when Sarah said, hey, Matt. It's super easy to, when I'm just streaming on TikTok for someone to like join, but since I'm doing it through OBS, I wonder what's going to happen if you... Oh, can I... Oh, let me hit multi-guest. Maybe I can invite you.
Yeah, see, I can request it and see if it works. I just don't want it to mess up your...
I just invited you. See if you get that.
All right, but I'll have to get off the phone to get in.
Okay, bye. Guys, we're going to go over this kind of severe weather. Okay, Matt is in here. Let me see. Can you guys hear him? Let me put on my headphones. Hold up, guys.
I am the meso of them.
I think I may have to switch to just TikTok for a little bit here. Let me see if I can hear you, Matt. Let me go here. Okay, I can hear you. Can you guys hear him?
I think they got me too, yeah.
They can hear you. Okay, they can't see you, but they can hear you. Alrighty, guys. We have...
Not my logo. That's my saying.
Crap, but you can't show them what you're talking about. Okay, here we're gonna just to the latest. What do we want to look at? The 12Z of the Euro or the 18Z of the GFS right now for next week?
I honestly think they're both pretty similar.
Yeah, I like the Euro, gives us a little bit more details. Shorter kilometer model.
It does. I will say the both models do a good job at our shear displacement in our worm sector, but I think the GFS is GFS doesn't do great with showing EML, the mixed layer cape there.
Yeah.
So it's going to show more of an over convection in the morning and afternoon. So I think the European's a little bit better showing that organized discrete mode before the line.
Yeah. All right. So what are your thoughts? It's tough to tell. The last one we really thought was going to hit, it was an underperformance. It was not a complete dud, but a pretty big dud. What are your thoughts on this? And what are your thoughts, with what we could see after it as well? Obviously, there's a lot going on in March.
Yeah. So with this one here, I think the ceiling is 5 out of 5 high on a scale if we were to see everything go to fruition. Lowest ceiling being, I think, that enhanced risk or slight risk achieving at some point. Another thing, like I mentioned to you earlier, is instability values are always underdone on global models. And I think a lot of people are saying that it's not going to perform because of the instability being weak. We're going to see instability once the day gets here. We know that's going to happen. But like the issue is going to be is that EML capping going to do anything, or when is the capping going to break? Because if we wait and we get capping through the day and our storms don't initiate until nighttime, we're going to have a more supercellular mode and have an overnight nocturnal tornado outbreak. But if that EML is weaker and we get all this overconvection in the morning, like there potentially could be a bust on one side and you just get one big damaging wind event like last Saturday, which is still going to produce that QLCS threat. But I will say, as we talked about earlier too, watching to see which model, whether it's the European or the GFS, to see if we get a second day on Wednesday. I've also noticed that supercell composite on the GFS and the Euro does look to be shifting in form of southern more Louisiana. So I think that risk zone is going to get shoved down more too, or expanded out more to eventually cover all of Louisiana. But I think we're looking at a supercellular event to start with, going linear, and then we'll have QLCSs for 24 plus hours. It's going to be weird. I want to see what the NAM does.
Yeah, there's been so many events. Well, especially, I don't know if, was it in January where we had a couple tornado outbreaks where their risk zone was to the north like this, and we ended up having a few. Actually, we had that long track tornado that went through southern Louisiana. It's happened a few times where they've left out kind of the southern, the Gulf region,
And another thing too, they've got Mardi Gras down there on Tuesday. It's peak Mardi Gras day, so you're gonna have every single person out
They
there.
should just extend it through there just because of that. People need to understand what's going on.
Yeah. Yep.
And then as we move, okay, and then that's going to move out east. Now, what do you think? And I talked about in my video today. Once this thing moves east, I think the chances of kind of your cluster or supercell, thunderstorms goes down, and it's probably going to be more of a QLCS type.
Yes.
We're going to have a big squall line, but we're not going to have a bunch of popcorn out ahead of it. What's your thought with the Wednesday and the Thursday?
I think the Wednesday and the Thursday event, I think it's more damaging wind, as you were saying there. I just don't see a supercellular event with prefrontal convection too much.
Yeah.
I think they could high ceiling for Wednesday's event into Thursday. They go enhanced over South Carolina and North Carolina for a 30% damaging wind risk, depending on Cape. Now, I will say, the models have been trending with a little bit higher Cape values up on the eastern portion of North Carolina, where we could get some maybe potential prefrontal convection. But you're going to want to see those diffluence bands set up, and I don't see those anywhere on the model runs quite yet. So
yeah. Even these 10-meter wind gusts are going crazy on here, 55 plus.
Yeah, I think the winds are going to be the highest as they typically do.
I've seen the upper troughing and mid-level troughing. I've seen that actually, and I said this in my video today too. It looks to me like the trend is it's amplifying a little bit.
Yes,
on Tuesday
absolutely.
and Wednesday.
Yeah, the mid-level jet stream winds at peak of the event look to be 130 knots out of the southwest. Yeah, it's super impressive.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about that earlier today.
This is so impressive for an early March.
I know. Okay, and then a little bit farther down the road, and we don't know if this is going to happen yet, but they're already putting a day 7 on this. I wonder if in a few days they start, looking at this.
Yeah, and that one really makes me nervous.
Yeah, as we get out towards the next week. This is just an app. Now, if this played out exactly like this would be one of the biggest outbreaks ever. You're probably seeing a lag, and I was joking with you earlier. I was like, and then it just drops like a nice little frontal boundary right up there through New England. I don't know if you can see on the screen there, but this is going to change over time.
I think it will. It's been adjusting to more of an amplification as far as the jet stream. And you were talking about a few minutes ago, that cold air coming in on the third week of March. You can see that coming in as well. So that also could allow for a little bit more of a forcing with that system coming in so far out.
Look at our European weeklies, precipitation and dry air. And this to me is just a perfect setup for severe weather. You got moisture kind of towards the center of the country out east. You've got this dry air out to the west. A lot of this is going to be associated with these cold air, high pressures pushing in. This to me, look, I don't know if can you see what I'm looking at now? The European,
absolutely.
This to me looks like chaos.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I was looking at something earlier too. Let me just go over to it really quick. Euro. Let me see. Just looking at our 500 millibar height anomalies pushing forward. I actually wanted to look at. Let me see. What was it on? Was it on the weeklies? This event, like just pushing forward here. Again, this type of setup. Just heat and moisture availability through here, continuous cold air, dry air pushing in from the northwest. This is, I don't want to, like, again, I guess after that last system that was a dud, I'm like nervous to overhype this, but everything I'm looking at is calling for the second and third week of March to be super active.
Yep, I think it will be, and it's historically known for this time, especially coming off the week La Nina Enzo as well. So it everything goes into it, improves it basically.
Yeah. And guys, during an El Nino, we typically have a little bit. We have a tighter jet stream. It's not wobbling around, bouncing around as much. We're in Enzo, neutral to a La Nina. This thing is what we call it's doing meridional troughing. So you've got cold air sinking, warm air rising, lots of ridging and troughing, and that's when you have a lot of instability. Along that.
Yep, and another reason for that instability push as well is just the Gulf being way warmer than what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, we almost had a tropical storm, right?
Really?
I don't think it became one, but we almost had a tropical storm. What was that? A few days ago?
Yeah, that was insane. If we would have had our first A name in February, I would have been it.
We almost had a tropical storm in February, guys. If you don't, just so you understand how warm these waters are down here. Also, when you look at kind of the temperature outlook from NOAA, this region down here is expected to be pretty warm, and this is the fuel for these severe weather outbreaks. Most of the fuel for the severe weather outbreaks. So. This is going to be crazy. Next week, guys, I'll get back to talking to them, but next week, Mezzo is going to be covering all of these events. I'll cover as many as I can. I've got I'm not doing this full time yet like he is, but he will be covering. I'm sure he'll be on Tuesday, Wednesday,
We'll
Thursday
probably
for
be on for
hours.
72 hours straight if this plays out.
Yeah, yeah,
They're not
yeah.
looking forward to it.
And right now, there's so many people in the target of this thing. We're talking about like the Central Plains, South Central, Southeast, Ohio Valley, up
Yep.
towards the East Coast, up towards the
I
Mid
would not be
Atlantic,
surprised, Connor, as I was
Midwest.
mentioning to you this morning, if the slight risk gets shoved all the way up into Missouri, but at some point before day one gets here.
I think so too. And I also think we may see. Let me go back really quickly to the SBC outlook. I also think we may see this expand farther north.
Yep, I agree.
So I mean, the jet's going to be so strong, dude.
It's beautiful too on troughing. It's not something you see every day in March.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Well, I'll let you get to it.
Yeah, appreciate you stopping by, and I'll
Not a
talk to you a
problem.
little bit later.
Sounds good.
All right, see you. Look at that. Mezzo Matt is the GOAT. If you guys don't follow him, go follow him. MESOMATT. The GOAT. Love that guy. All right. What's in the yellow? Okay, this is a slight risk. This is a 7-day outlook, guys. Typically, if the Storm Prediction Center is a little bit worried about severe weather, 3 to 4 days out, they'll put a little outlook. 6, you can see it if I pull this over here on the side. This is the typical time where they'll warn you. That's why even on Pivotal Weather, they have all these details through the first 3 days. And then down here, it's just like, 4 to 8. They have to be very concerned to put a especially day 7 and 8. They have to be extremely concerned to put a outlook, severe weather outlook, a risk zone out that far. And they're very concerned about this. So they did. 6 and 7 days are crazy. So it's something we're going to pay close attention to. They already have an enhanced on the 6-day, which is also crazy. This is probably going to go moderate. Chance this goes high. I think the 7-day, the Wednesday next week is going to go enhanced, maybe to moderate, but this is definitely, I think, going to go moderate in a few days, and then we'll see if it goes high. But it's going to be, it might just go to moderate. We'll see. But next week, Wednesday to Thursday, everyone really, like anyone in this region could be affected. This is a pretty big region. We're expecting these risk zones to expand to the north. We're expecting them to move as the system moves through. So it's going to affect a lot of people. Hopefully not too bad. Mezzo, I appreciate that. Pam, what's going on? Butterfly, what's going on? I'll get to answering questions now. Yali, what's going on? Let's see here. Anne. Megan, what is up? Shadow, I appreciate you. Jen B. Tanya. For some reason, it's not showing me full names, so I have to click it on. Why isn't it showing me full names? It's so annoying. Cindy, Ricky, what's going on? Yeah, Alex, Pam. Let's see. Storm Chasing 22. What is popping? I know I'm missing people probably. Alicia. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to get to answering some questions. I did talk about snow a little bit in my video today. I did a longer video. I was trying to make it a 10-minute video. I like did the editing. It came out to 6 minutes. I was like, no way I talked that fast. It's annoying. Anyways, last thing before I get to questions. I know there were some people who wanted to see this. For anyone who wasn't in my stream earlier, this is really interesting stuff. This map right here, if you're in the red, you underperformed your snow averages this year so far. If you're in the blue, you overperformed. And people in the purple, absolutely, they did 1,000% more than this average snow they got. So big overperformer, obviously, because that big snowstorm down in the south, it never happens. Big underperformers, we can see Midwest, Northern Plains, big underperformer. This has been classic lately. The New England coast through kind of Mid-Atlantic, from Philly all the way up to New York City, and big underperformer. Charlotte's been underperforming for 5 years straight. This to me is crazy. This is we expected big snow, especially through here. If I were to say what's my biggest shock of the season so far, I would say this right here. Big shock of the season. Having another below average season here. I think those are two really big shocks of the season. This is crazy. Big underperformance in Utah. For a Enzo neutral into a moderate La Nina, this is pretty impressive that we have so much underperformances in snow up here in the Northwest too. But you can see where the overperformances were this year. So here's the actual snow map, guys. Here's how it's played out so far. For anyone who just joined, I know some of you guys wanted to see this. Look at this. The stretch from New York City down to Philly and Central Jersey, the only area basically out here in the entire Mid-Atlantic and New England that has received under a foot of snow. The only area. Philly, Central Jersey, New York City, parts of Long Island. So, all right, let's answer questions. Let me move this back. But we have some more snowstorms moving through in March. We can see them. We'll see what happens with them. But it looks at least through the third week of March, we're going to have some cold air continuing to sink. Fourth week of March into the first week of April, it looks like it's going to warm up. And I'm not just saying that because, well, duh, Connor, it's April. Well, no, the outlook calls for troughing through the third week of March. If it didn't call for troughing through the third week of March, I'd say the third week of March, it looks like we might start warming up. But it looks like the fourth week of March this year. I think we might have spring sticking around for a lot of people. A lot of you feel like winter's done. We have 3 to 4 more pushes of cold air in March before I think we have sustained warm air for most people, except for you guys way up far north. You'll probably continue to feel this, obviously, through April. Will Texas get snow? It's going to be tough. There's some crazy stuff happening at the end of these runs right now with really, really significant troughing. I mean, look at the end of the GFS, really far out. Don't pay too much attention to it. I would just say this is a very vertical trough. I can tell even by just looking at the future radar by the isobars. But the Euro sees something at the end of its run too with this snow very far south. I mean, you're seeing snow into Mexico, and this is some mountainous regions. But this type of storm could be a third week southern winter storm. I'd give it about a 2% chance of being that, but that's not a 0% chance, right? I don't know if this trough is going to be this amplified. I'd expect it to not be that amplified. Maybe we get something through here. Maybe Tennessee, Kentucky has another chance there, but we got to get more time on that. That's a little bit unrealistic to be talking too much about. Anything for Baltimore possibly? Yeah. I mean, Baltimore definitely has a chance. Again, I'm watching this timeline here. Something interesting happens here from the 5th through the 7th. You've got this moisture pulling off the coast with some cold air behind it. Do we maybe get a storm system that forms along this boundary? Potentially. It's 160 hours out, so we'll watch that. And then I also am watching this right here. There's a lot of energy here, and this is actually even colder air than that air before. This is actually even colder air here. This is probably your freezing line right there. Some energy here. I'm watching this timeline as well. So the 7th through the 9th for a snow system out here. Not saying it's going to happen, but there's a kind of somewhat promising setup there for with what we have right now. Connor, will Florida be impacted by severe weather on Wednesday? Yeah, I mean, potentially. You guys are going to get the bottom of some of these of this squall line. I don't know if we're going to see severe weather down in South Florida. It could make it as far down as Orlando to Tampa, though. We'll see. We need to get a little bit closer. Still slightly out of forecasting range. They can just see how deep this trough is, how amplified this trough is going to be pushing into that warm Gulf moisture. So that's why they're already putting the warning on it. My birthday is the 25th. Santiago, are you in here? Do you expect... Oh, sorry, Fade. Do you expect severe weather in New Jersey? I do think that the day 7 risk zone will be moved to the north. Potentially. I think it has potential. I'm not going to say I think it will. I think it has potential to be moved to the north. So I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow or the next day we saw this risk zone go slightly farther to the north, encompassing portions of New Jersey and southeastern PA. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, I have family members flying in Thursday for my son's to your birthday, and I'm like, please don't put me in a slider enhanced tornado risk zone. Please, weather gods, I need them to land and bring my son his presents. Congrats, you got another account ban. Thanks, Indiana. Yeah, were you talking about the story I was talking about before? The dude who was so rude on my video. I was like, dude, God, people are so mean. Jenny, what's going on? GMF said the only God is Jesus. All right, GMF. We're just talking about the weather here. Casey, Ohio Valley? Yeah. I mean, Ohio Valley, this is, again, we expect this risk zone to be stretched. It's not stretched right now because it's 6 days out. Give it 24 to 48 hours. We'll probably see this stretched. I don't know if it's going to be that wide, guys. But, like, we could see a marginal here. a marginal here that includes portions of the Ohio Valley. We could even see the slight move out. We could see the slight move out a little bit, and we could see a big marginal like this. You know, I don't know if we're going to see that big a marginal, but thunderstorm and then a big marginal. So we'll see that once we get within 72 to 96 hours. We'll see this risk zone. We're not going to get to day of and see this small of a risk zone. If this is the slight, we're going to see severe weather risk probably much farther out. Just general thunderstorm and a general thunderstorm and a marginal probably. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the subs, guys. Yeah, I mean, Dallas is gonna have to watch out for this. Yes, next Tuesday, Monday to Tuesday. Could Long Island see severe weather on Wednesday or Thursday? Yeah, we're watching to see if that. I think we're definitely going to be in potentially the general thunderstorm or marginal. The question is, do we get that slight risk on 7 pushing into the mid-Atlantic or farther north into the mid-Atlantic? And we could get the slight pushing north. So we'll watch. I think we might just end up in a marginal. I know I missed a bunch of your questions in the beginning when I was yapping away. I'm sorry, guys. We'll look at the panels in a second. Icon going crazy with snow like always. Oh, I want to see. Fun. I want to see. Let's go to the 00Z. Let's go back to the 12Z. I mean, it's not doing. I mean, it's going crazy out west. Nothing crazy out east. What's your go live schedule? I used to go live like every night from like 9 to 11 or 11:30, like 2.5 hours. And, you know, I would love to make this my full-time job one day. I got to grow my accounts and I got to be able to make enough money that I can make a living off of this. So not doing it yet. So I have a 9 to 5 and, it's been kicking my butt lately. I've been working late. I've been working long hours. And so it's affected my schedule. You know, I got a son and a daughter on the way in 2 months. So my schedule is busy. I usually get right home from work. I make a video, upload it, try to get some time with my family and then get on. So it's been affecting my schedule. But once the job I do, my 9 to 5 is a job where you're busy certain portions of the year and others you're not. I'm just in a busy portion right now. I got a lot going on, but I won't in a couple weeks, and I'll be chilling. I'll be getting back to my normal 9 to 11:30 schedule, because I like consistency. I don't want you guys to be like, why do you get on at 8 today and they got on at 10 the next day? I hate being inconsistent. I want to get on at 9 every day if I can, so I'll get back to it. But that's usually what it's going to be: 9 to 11, 9 to 12 every night. So yeah. I always feel like, I mean, I've already said what I do, so I can say I'm an underwriter. I'm an underwriter. If you know what that is. So, how the nor'easter for New Jersey looking? We don't really see one in like our latest GFS or Euro, but we do see the potential for a mid-Atlantic storm, which I was just talking about. We see this happening. We see this energy out here. We see this. This is much colder air than the system that moves through 2 days before it or the day before it, and we see a lot of energy here and freezing air. I mean, our freezing line is basically where I drew this first line, so there's some potential here through the 7. I would say probably 7th to the 9th, probably 8th to the 10th. We'll have to watch this. A lot of sinking cold air here, and we're probably going to have some energy in the air here as well. So, this doesn't look if our trough. If this cold air is digging in this far out to the east, we're not going to get a nor'easter, but we could get a very strong clipper that drops 6 to 9 inches through here, like Baltimore and DC has seen twice this year. Actually, yeah, or like portions of the Mid-Atlantic has seen twice this year. But plenty of time. I mean, we're talking about over 190 hours, so we're going to have some chances out east. We'll just have to see if they come to fruition. We'll have to see. Ohio Valley, marginal, slight. I think Ohio Valley is inevitably going to be in a marginal risk. I think the Ohio Valley is inevitably going to be in a marginal risk. You're going to see a marginal out here, probably. But and a severe thunderstorm warning, or severe thunderstorm, general thunder even farther out. But the question is, how much does this slight risk expand? Because I think it will expand out. How much does a slight risk expand? I'm not sure yet. Probably will encompass pretty much all of Tennessee. And again, if we end up getting upgraded to a moderate here, which a lot of meteorologists, I listen to a lot of meteorologists. Some, when I go to and from work during the day, I mean, I'm always watching weather, listening about weather, and because I like hearing what other people like. That's why I like bringing Mesomat in here, hearing his opinion. He likes hearing my opinion. Most meteorologists are agreeing that this is probably going to go moderate, and if it goes moderate, you can bet this enhanced zone is going to increase, this slight zone is going to increase, the marginal is going to increase. They all increase. So not as big as I drew it, but Tennessee Valley, of course, yeah. When is Texas going to get bad weather, if you don't mind me asking? Well, yeah, next week. I mean, central to eastern Texas, we got to watch out next week, Monday into Tuesday. Oh, yeah, Big Daddy, John Dean says. This is a day 6 and day 7 severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. These aren't commonly placed unless they're extremely concerned with a severe weather outbreak well in advance. This is Tuesday through Thursday. They're very concerned with the severe weather and potential tornado outbreak through this region. Starting out here, moving east. The only reason we only have up to an enhanced risk is they will not place a moderate or high risk typically until we get into that 3 to 4 day time frame. They won't do it. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. How bad, we don't know, but severe weather is coming. How severe is the question. We're not gonna avoid severe weather next week. We're not gonna. We got to see how severe it's gonna be though. Yali with the cowboy hat. Julie, what's going on? Michaela, what up? Could it move up like 100 miles? It will. No, I mean, guys, this risk zone will expand. This is 6 days out, so they make it small because they're not sure yet. What we'll probably see is this slight zone expand out. We'll probably see the enhanced expand out. We'll probably see a moderate put in here. It's like a little avocado. And then we'll probably see a marginal risk for severe weather like out here. And then as we go into Wednesday, this is going to move. All the severe threat will move east. You can see it on day 7. We'll probably see an enhanced in here, and then we'll probably move a little bit up the coast for Thursday. So yeah, we may see that severe threat expand a little bit to the west too. Hey, Julie, were you in here earlier when we were talking about this? We were talking about this map. Buffalo did, in fact, has overperformed their averages this year by a pretty good margin. Not crazy, but by a decent margin. There's that map. The blue's overperformance, the purple's way overperformance because they had that southern snowstorm. They never get it. And you can see this. I mean, look at this. There's portions around Buffalo that received close to 30 feet of snow, or around 20 feet of snow in here. That's insane. 20 feet of snow in there. 30 to 40 portions up here to the north. We can see 20 to 30 feet of snow up here in Vermont. Northern Michigan did some wild stuff. These mountains are always going to get this. Utah, talk about an underperformance. Woo! Utah's having a bad year. Anyone in chat from Utah? Utah's having a bad year with snow. Colorado just to its east had some storms that dug down and dumped in Colorado instead of Utah, so Colorado's not doing as bad, but Utah, talk about an underperformance. Holy crap. Pam with the galaxy. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate you. Title gifter. What does that even mean? I've never even seen that. Pam's legendary. Wait, what is this? One second. Wow. Shout out, Pam. I appreciate you. T-Dub, didn't I answer you? Look at the Euro. I actually haven't really looked at the Euro 18Z much. Oh, yeah. So that's the 12Z. So the 18Z isn't going to show us all the way out. The 12Z does. Interesting what the 12Z still does here. The problem is, that, it looks like if you were to just read this you're like, why isn't this snow? Look at our blue isobar lines. Like, why? That's cold air, isn't it? But no, your polar jet's actually right here. This is just a weaker jet stream to the south. This is your cold air to the north. So we need that to sink a little bit farther. This obviously is a perfect. I mean, if we were to see this in January, February, this is 3 feet of snow up the coast. We might be a little bit warm, but the GFS actually, if we were to blend the GFS and the Euro, we may get something because the GFS actually has it colder down there. So you can see what the GFS does at that same time. The GFS, look where the GFS has this main jet stream, right? This is kind of like your polar jet up there to the north. So this is freezing air. This is warm air on the Euro. So if the American model and Euro model can just get together and make a baby, then we'd have a nor'easter. Let's get the cold air from the American model. Let's have that be right, and let's get the storm track from the Euro, cold air from the American, and then we'll have a big nor'easter. Because, like I said, the Euro has the nor'easter style storm track, and then the GFS has the cold air in place for it. So, yeah, that's why I say there's potential there. Yeah, Ali, I appreciate you. Atlanta, we got to watch severe weather. Atlanta, this isn't the best place to be. We'll see I think the timeline will adjust a little bit, but areas through here, I don't like next week because Tuesday into Wednesday, you're gonna have probably tornadoes touching down in this region if this timeline holds at nighttime here overnight, say 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. And that's always a dangerous time to have, kind of through Appalachia to have down towards Atlanta. But again, there's plenty of time. We might see the system speed up, and that might be out here. We might see it slow down. That might be through here. We don't know the exact timing, but right now, that transition Tuesday into Wednesday is going to be somewhere in here, and it's going to be that can be a little bit more sketchy. You don't want supercells moving over your city in the middle of the night. You don't want that. What do you think the probabilities of seeing a North Florida severe weather outbreak? I don't know if the outbreak's going to... I expect this to extend down to the south, especially the marginal. I think the panhandle through northern Florida could see some water spouts turning into tornadoes next week. We have to see. I think the shear is going to be there. I think we'll have some rotation down there. I think you'll be fine down in South Florida, Central Florida. You'll get some strong thunderstorms, but I'm worried about up here. Especially the panhandle, I'd say. Italian West. How does a polar vortex typically split? Does it typically split this much every year? First year watching, you look at it. It has a better chance of splitting when you have this kind of Enzo neutral La Nina crazy meridional troughing. So, I mean, there was like going back, when was it? The year we had 3 El Ninos in a row. You're not going to see it happen as much then. We just have we've had a pretty aggressive troughing pattern this winter, which is why, we've had a pretty aggressive troughing pattern, overall this winter, which is why we've had more opportunities. Let's go look at it. You can have stratospheric polar vortex stretches are pretty common. Seeing this thing stretch out like this is very normal. This is very normal. It stretches all the time, especially when you have this high ridging and high troughing in this type of pattern we have that displaces a lot of warm air up into the Arctic and allows for these high pressures to build up in the Arctic. Yes, there is a chance, T-Dub. T-Dub, I answered you like 5 times. Yes, there's a chance. Splitting a split like this is more rare. You have some winters where it doesn't happen at all. If this were to happen, this would be this would be potentially more significant than our other one. This would be such a significant stratospheric heating event over the Arctic. This is the first I'm seeing of this split this dramatic. You can see it at the end of this run. So I don't want, this is like March 13th, March 14th. So I'm going to hold my tongue on it a little bit, but I'm really interested to see what some other meteorologists are thinking, because this would be a little bit mind-boggling for me. Not even what's happening with these vortices, with these kind of these polar vortex vortices here splitting, but this is what I'm looking at. This heating event happening in here. This is what I'm looking at, and what that could lead to down in the States. So it's at the end of the run, so I don't want to dig too much into it. Sometimes you see this and you end up just seeing a stretch, and then your vortex holds together, and so we'll see. Snow totals next week. Yeah, you want to look at what some of these models are showing. We can look at our panels too. I know we want to look at the panels. Let's go down to the US. All right. Here's Euro snow. Through the next kind of 2 weeks. Some snow through here, New England snow, Appalachia snow, some Northern Plains snow, big mountain snow out here to the west. Nothing crazy down in the south. Now, here's what's interesting. The GFS displaces a lot more freezing air in here, but it doesn't have the storm track. Because if we were to look at precipitation, look at the precipitation that the Euro thinks is going to happen over the next 2 weeks. Look at this. Massive precipitation. So that's what I was talking about. If the GFS expects cooler air down here, if you were to take, if the American model were to be correct about that cold air, it would affect the tracking of the Euro storms, obviously, the storm tracks of the Euro, but we'll have to see if we get some colder air sinking down in here, because if we do, then we would probably see some snow through here if we were to see some colder air. So we'll see about that. Here's what the GFS thinks. Let's go. Ooh, the 00Z is loading. Here's what the GFS thinks. Very aggressive out west. Look what it's doing down in New Mexico and Arizona. That was the 18Z. Let's look at the 12Z. That was the 12Z. They both show this storm through here, potentially through here as well. Lots of good snow left. I'm sorry, Julie, in Buffalo. Ensemble-wise, if you want to look weekly-wise, this is looking very far out, guys. But this is what our Euro's thinking through the rest of March. So you kind of got your inch snow line down here. This is where it's thinking it's possible. So don't pay attention to weeklies too much, but just to show you, there's a lot of snow that these models still think is going to fall. Winter is not over on February 27th, as some people think it is. So there's a possibility for thunderstorms on Sunday for Southwest Kansas. Is that true? Sunday? Yeah. Yeah, these right here. This could be a wind and hail event. We're not expecting any sort of tornadoes. I mean, you could get a tornado touchdown or two, but right now this is looking like a potential wind or hail event through kind of the south central region and then pushing through the portions of the Midwest. So that's what we're watching Sunday and Monday. This is our big event, though. This is our big juicy event that we're getting scared of. Not scared of, but we're just watching. What's going on, Fab? Can the polar vortex splitting affect the south? Yeah, it can displace a lot of colder air farther down south than it should be in late March, which is why we're watching it. One second, guys. One second. One second. How are you, Weather Master? I'm good. Should I put that in my bio? No, that wouldn't look good. Suzette, what's going on? Hannah, what is up? Sam, I appreciate you. Fab, what's going on? I appreciate you. Do you think? Oh wait, let me get back. I really want you guys to see how this Euro looks. It really gives details about the severe weather event next week. Is that March 6th storm a possible winter storm for upper Midwest? Yes, it is. No, not too far out. We're watching it. This right here. Yeah, models show it differently, but yeah, this is going to be big snow for someone up there probably. Yeah. Yeah, I would say a true polar vortex split, stratospheric polar vortex split happens once. I don't know, every 2 years on average. Someone want to look that up? Once every 2 years on average, we could see a couple happening in the same year. So I wouldn't call that super common, guys. Maybe averaging once every 24 months. A true polar vortex split, stratospheric polar vortex split. Is Mesmac going live soon? I think he is. I think he is going live around 11. Or if he's not already live. I think he'll be live around 11. Jen B, what's going on? I appreciate you. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you, Sam. Snow for Rhode Island, Fav. It's a possibility. We can see all these, you know, I put this on fast forward so you guys can see all of. We see the troughing out here with some clippers. We see some more storm systems moving through here. We see another storm system on the back end here. We're gonna have winter storms moving through. The question is how much cold air can we get displaced down south? It's harder in March, but one of these troughs is going to displace a little bit colder air down to the south. We just need the timing to be right with this moisture. Do I think Chicago will get severe weather the 11th to the? Yeah, you know, if you were to believe this Euro, I would say it's a possibility. You know, it's pretty far out. But what's our yeah? I mean, that's interesting as well. Hey, you know, there's model consensus on the Euro and the GFS of potentially some severe weather up in Chicago during that time frame. So I wouldn't write it off. Yeah, far out, things could change, but there's a signal there for it in that time frame in Chicago. Yeah. It's out of forecasting range, though. It's more of an outlook. What's the storms looking like for East Central Alabama, Tuesday into Wednesday? Is there a chance for a tornado? Jen. There's going to be tornadoes next week. I would be shocked if there was... not. This isn't even scaring. This event's going to produce tornadoes. It's going to... I mean, there's maybe a 1% chance it doesn't. We have a day 6 outlook that we already have an enhanced risk on from the Storm Prediction Center. It's super rare. Day 6. Not super rare, but rare. Okay? Especially day 7. We've got a slight risk over Alabama 6 days. I would be shocked if we didn't have a couple tornadoes in Alabama. Hopefully we're not looking at a tornado outbreak. We don't know if we're looking at a tornado outbreak yet. We could see 5 to 10 tornadoes. We could see 40 tornadoes. We don't know if it's going to be a tornado outbreak yet. We're out here looking at this 120-hour plus time frame. Once we get within 72 hours, we'll probably see. I'll go to the tornado expert, Reed Timmer, and see if he thinks it's going to be an outbreak because he's good at seeing that stuff. So is Mesomat. But for right now, expect severe weather. Expect that there's more likely to be some tornadoes touching down in Alabama than not. I would say this: the worst tornadoes right now look to be to the north or look to be to the west of Alabama. I'm worried about southeastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, eastern Texas, Mississippi, and maybe southwestern Tennessee. I'm worried about here. I'm worried about these popcorns, these cluster thunderstorms, these supercellular potential thunderstorms here. As this moves out to the east and we start to get a more defined squall line, your chances in Alabama right now, with the data we have right now, look more likely for QLCS, quasi-linear convector system, QLCS tornadoes, which aren't great. You don't want, but those tend to be EF2 and below. A lot of these tend to be EF0, EF1, which is damaging, but it's not going to flatten homes or anything. It's going to blow trees down and you know, and it's, So right now, the concern for the strong tornadoes that we're really paying attention to is Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Eastern Texas. We'll have to see how that changes. We do expect tornadoes potential out here. We're not expecting the big strong ones, but it's always a possibility. It's always a possibility, but again, out west of Alabama is a bigger concern. But just keep up to date with it, Jen. You'll be all good. You live in a double wide. Ooh. Yeah, just as long as Jen, you got an app that gives you like weather alerts and stuff like that, right? As long as you stay up to date, it's pretty easy to stay safe. As long as you stay weather alert, you have an ability to get tornado watches and warnings. You can stay out of harm's way. No problem. Give me a giant nor'easter or spring summer. I agree, Fade. Yeah. You said I stay up to date. We were real. I can tell you do, Jen. Yep. It's easy, and I don't know. Weather's fun to talk about, anyways. Yeah, I agree, Fade. I'm like, we underperformed. I mean, I showed you guys where the region I live in. We've underperformed now for 4 years straight. Philly to New York City, that stretch, central New Jersey, and yeah, like I please dump it. If I'm not going to get a big nor'easter, I'm okay with the warm up now too. Just give me some sun in 50s and 60s. Give me in the spring. 70s, I'll take it. Jen, I appreciate you. Cohen, what is going on? What is popping, Cohen? I appreciate you, Cohen. What is this? Okay. What's happening for New Jersey? Well, we got some cool air moving in this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Probably stayed somewhat dry for the most part. And then we get a warm up and we get dumped on as we get into the middle of next week. As we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Probably Tuesday, probably Wednesday, Thursday for us up there. Jersey, we'll see. I think we may get some severe weather. I think we may be in a marginal, maybe even a slight risk in New Jersey, but at least a marginal risk for severe weather in Jersey. Next Wednesday evening. Right now is the timeline. And right behind that, we're probably going to see another cool down again. So not a major one, but the Euro thinks we have a chance for a nor'easter. We would have to get a little bit more cold air into here, but just something to look at, just something to watch the signals on. Connor, can I add you to my contacts? Wait, Sant, are you a moderator? There you go, Sant. You're a moderator. Laddie, what up? Jen B with the glowing jellyfish. Jen B. Jen, I appreciate you. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. Laddie, what's going on, dude? What's the temperature outlook for PA looking like? Yeah, here's what's going on. Let's just get now in the short range. It's going to be in the short range again. You guys, your weather app's correct if it says like going into Saturday through Monday we're gonna get cold. Short range, nothing crazy going on around the country. Most of us are average. This is slightly above average, not major above average. Just is slightly below normal. Nothing crazy with temps there. Now, as we push out, second week of March, big warm up in the center, big cool down out west, average to slightly cool out east. We can go and take a quick look at our latest. Let's take a quick look at our latest. Let's go to 18Z. Temp anomalies moving forward here. Let's go down to. I appreciate you too, Jen. Has he mentioned Kentucky? Yeah, I have. I'll get into Kentucky. Give me a second. Have I mentioned Kentucky? I've mentioned the Ohio Valley a bunch. Here's the cool air that's pushing in this weekend. Well below average. Well below average as we get into Saturday, Sunday, Monday out east. For most of us out east. Warm air takes over again. Cool air behind it. Warm air takes over again. Cool air back into the east. This is what you get. This is what you get winter and spring. Again, this is just crazy to me. Now, the Euro and GFS have this crazy temperature gradient through here. Big cold air blast, lots of warm air ahead of it. This could do one of two things, or it could do both. This could, and now this is like the biggest if ever, because we're talking about La La Land range here. I mean, I trust troughing a little bit more out here, but I don't trust precipitation at all out here. This could bring snow, one last chance for snow down to the south. What I think this is going to do, I think this has potential for a big severe weather outbreak down here. But this is wild troughing. This is wild cold air out here, moving into the third week of March. If that were to happen, like what the heck is that? Kansas City severe. Yeah. So this is our day 6 outlook. This is going to change. This is going to expand. We're likely going to get the slight risk is going to expand. We're going to get a marginal that's like going to be out here. We're probably going to get a moderate, even higher, 4 out of 5 risk. And then as we get into, and then this risk will expand out east as we get into Wednesday, which we can kind of already see them putting in the day 7 outlook. So don't look at this and be like, this is the only area to watch out. This is a day 7 risk outlook. So they're not making it huge right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you had cities like St. Louis get involved in this, Cincinnati, as far north there. I mean, Oklahoma City will have to watch. Houston will have to watch. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing expand through there, even with the slight or marginal. I mean, definitely with the marginal, but potentially with the slight, and then it's going to move out east. Depending on the speed of the storm, we could see this entire thing shift west and include more of Oklahoma and potentially Kansas City, but right now we don't see it yet. That warming over the Arctic, would that cause the vortex to drop farther south, make it colder for a combo of both? Yeah, Leanne, that's what it would do. When we get these big stratospheric warming events to our north, it typically follows with the big cool down to the south. I live in Charleston, South Carolina area. Can you talk about Wednesday's weather for me? You're probably you may be even in an enhanced risk. We'll see, because it's going to be more QLCS, but you're going to have the threat of high winds, hail, and squall line tornadoes up and down the eastern seaboard. So that's just what it is. Right now, it almost, I want to call it a lock. It's not a lock quite yet, but it's very close to being called a lock for Wednesday. So luckily, it looks like that the worst, the supercell cluster type thunderstorms that can really drop big, strong EF2 plus tornadoes, that's probably going to be farther out west. I think a lot of this out here is going to be more of a squall line wind event and weaker tornadoes that are associated with it, but we could get some serious hail, and we need to watch out east there as well. You're in a day 7 slight risk. That's so far out to be in a slight risk. I'll pay you if you can get me one more snowstorm in Ohio. Yeah, I'm looking at this 12Z of the Euro, and I'm like, do we have potential there? We do. This is your potential there at the end for a big snowstorm in Ohio here, second week of March. We'll have to see if this thing digs down far enough. Fav, I appreciate you. Look at the Euro and GFS panels. They're fun. Okay, we'll look at that. Panels. Let's see, guys. These are our panels. These are all the possibilities with this snow moving forward from our Euro. Are there any crazy runs? Are there any runs here that do anything crazy? Monster snow for Colorado there, but that's not. We're expecting big snow out in Colorado. This would be a big nor'easter on this run. This would be a decent Chicago snowstorm. This would be like Charlotte to DC snow. That's an interesting look there. This would be mid-Atlantic snow, coastal. This would be mid-Atlantic snow, coastal. This would be Mid-Atlantic snow coastal. This would be really up through Appalachia. This would potentially be a big blizzard through Nebraska, Iowa, up through Wisconsin. These are all different outcomes that the Euro sees, guys. They're fun sometimes to look at. This would be snow pretty far to the south. So, the main one we look at when I'm showing you is the deterministic model that they think has the highest chance. This is a blizzard. This is a nor'easter in this run right here. Nor'easter is a possibility. Obviously we don't see it in a ton of runs, but it's a possibility. This is a nor'easter too. It leaves out Philly and New Jersey though. If that run were to be accurate. What we got some more panels here. Let's see. These are all different outcomes from the model as it's put in the most updated data. So nothing crazy on these runs. This would be some pretty big snow out east though, potentially towards the mid-Atlantic as well. This is the most interesting panel I've seen. Now this is a 1 out of 50 chance basically, but this would be crazy. This is saying a foot of snow through Atlanta, upstate South Carolina, Charlotte, up through Virginia Beach, Philly, New York City, Boston. This would be one of those outcomes that would just make everyone happy and everyone would shut up. This line through here, that's through so many cities, starting in Atlanta. If that's guys, that's 1 out of 50 panels. The odds of that happening are pretty minute, but it's not impossible. That's why we look at these panels sometimes, because you're like, there's outcomes here. Most of them do like to keep that snow to the north. Do like that snow through inland New England, northern Midwest, and then potentially a snowstorm through here. Lots of snow out here. So, but yeah, there's some very interesting panels there that show the potential for nor'easter. There's 1 or 2 that show southern snow there out of 50. So not a super high chance, but again, it's not an impossibility with that type of look. We're gonna have the moisture being there isn't the problem. It's can we get an amplified enough trough to provide that freezing air? That's the issue, not the moisture this time around. Des, I appreciate you. What's going on? Yeah, new GFS is loading. We'll look at it in a second. Parker, what's going on? I'm a weather forecaster for the USAF studying computer science. Oh, that's cool. I think that's what my brother has a degree in. I think computer science. and I went to school for meteorology. You could design these models, right? You could put these together. You like cold weather, snow, or warmer temps? Listen, I grew up in Florida, then lived in LA. I spent the first 24, 25 years of my life just in heat. So I like the cold weather. I grew up in South Florida, moved to Tallahassee, lived in Orlando for a while, lived in the Valley, Burbank, and then lived in downtown, in LA. Moved out of the Valley towards Hollywood. So heat. I like the cold weather and snow. That's what I'm currently doing. I was in the Air Force for 6 years. Now I model for a contractor. That is so cool. But yeah, Parker, that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I would love to learn more about how these. I know the basics of how these models work and how they apply their data and stuff like that, but I don't know the back end of this stuff, how it works, the complicated stuff. But I think it's pretty cool. I've done a little bit of research on the new models that are being. I think it's really interesting how these models get better every year and kind of what the future of them are. Because one day we're going to have such crazy forecasting, they're not even going to need us. Melanie, I appreciate you. Every time there's severe weather in Atlanta, there's nothing. Wait. Every time severe weather in Atlanta, there's nothing. Atlanta's gonna experience some high winds and rain next week. Are you going to see a tornado and hail? That's the question. But you guys are going to likely have a pretty strong squall line passing over you with this type of outlook. How are those new Euro AI models looking? Yeah, what's going on with... What I want to know is what's going on with... What's the Google AI model that they're working on? Gencast? What's going on with Gencast? When's that going to be public? I think I have a video on my TikTok about it. I did a video on it. Yeah, Gencast. What the heck? I want to know about that. What's GraphCast? Ah. What did they change the name? Because it was Gencast, was it not? Yeah, Gencast. Is there a there's GraphCast and Gencast? Why are they both a thing? It's gonna rain from Mardi Gras. Maybe only Tuesday though. GraphCast, AI model for faster and more accurate global weather forecasting. Our state-of-the-art model delivers 10-day weather predictions at unprecedented accuracy in under 1 minute. It's not... This isn't available to the public yet, though, right? I'll believe it when I see it. The challenge of global weather forecasting. Yeah, that's easy. We can't put weather balloons up in the air in the middle of the ocean. Well, the United States is the only consistent country in the world that puts thousands of weather balloons in the air, which gives us much better data than satellite data. All we can use for the rest of the planet is satellite data because we don't have weather balloons going up everywhere, so it's information's crappy. Yeah, none of this I don't think is available to the public. Open sourcing model code. Oh, it's an open source code. Wait, what? Google, DeepMind, GraphCast, and Gencast. This package contains example code to run and train the weather models to use in... Oh, that's sick. It is to an extent, and it's very cool. GFS data doesn't feed well, though. Oh, okay. So, but this is open source, meaning anyone can feed this thing and teach this thing information. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, well, I'll have to look more into this. I'll make another video on this. I'm currently working... Sorry, guys. I'm currently working on radiation within the public source code. That's sick. Okay, yeah. I'll have to do another video on this. My video before was kind of just quick, whatever. Very interesting. Guys, the future of weather forecasting is wild. I mean, there's some companies that claim that within a decade, we're going to have weather models that are going to be able to look 2 weeks out, some say 3 weeks out, and tell you exactly what's going to happen. Like, you're going to get 1.55 inches of rain. The gusts are going to be up to 38. I don't think that's going to happen. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Our atmosphere is the second most variable real estate of air in our solar system, right behind, I believe, it's like Jupiter's atmosphere. It's variable to a point that the human mind can't comprehend, and we need such extreme AI, and we're just kind of really we're really just discovering, in the grand scheme of thing, we're really just discovering AI right now and its capabilities. I think it's going to take like 100 years for that, but that's what some people say. In 10 years, we're going to be able to. I mean, I guess technological advances are exponential. So you create technology that helps you create technology quicker. It's exponential. So maybe 10 years we'll have perfect weather models and no one will listen to me anymore. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, maybe that's hopeful thinking for me. That's true, but it's definitely going to get way more accurate further out than it currently is. Oh, yeah, it gets more accurate. It gets more, yeah. They judge it on like a 5 or 10 year curve, I think, right now. That's like a 5-year curve, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, it's quick. Oh, on Tropical Tidbits. It also uploads quicker, Leanne, on Weatherbell. But here, let's look at GFS. I'll look at on here real quick. Here's our 00Z. What's going on? This is a little bit colder than I expected it to be. Okay. Yeah, I mean, no surprise. We're still seeing this thing. I'll go to Tropical Tidbits really quickly. Forecast models. Let's take a look at this. Global GFS. All right. Is this are we on the 00Z? It's actually loading slower on here. What is up with tropical tidbits in this massive? Why do we have a plume of moisture that looks like Africa? Okay, this thing is not going to develop like this. I don't know why it's so aggressive with its moisture content. Christine, extended your sub. Christine, I appreciate you. Thank you, Christine. Good to see you. I appreciate that, Christine. Yali, I appreciate you. Melanie. What'd you say? No, that not right. Yeah, right. This is not gonna. It's not gonna look like that, but that's fine. I think the GFS was farther loaded than this. No, they're about the same. Weatherbell's always Weatherbell. Let's see if we can look at the GFS on Weatherbell. I do want to show you guys what's happening with this new run. I think Weatherbell goes the quickest sometimes. Let's look at Weatherbell real quick. Weatherbell is at it's only at 117. Let's see. Oh, Weatherbell is actually going the slowest on the GFS. Yeah. Got all these different ways to look at these models. I like the way Weatherbell shows precipitation though, because this is a much more realistic outcome than your Africa rain. Here's how it looks on here. Come on, GFS. I just want to get out towards out to the 9th. Come on, GFS. Windy be loading quick. I have a subscription to everything. I have a subscription to Windy too. I don't think you even need it to see the GFS on there though. Let's see. God, I never use Windy. How do I even change? Oh, all the lightning strikes on here. You guys hear that? How do I even change what model I'm using on Windy? I don't even know. Okay, here we go. Someone help me. Oh, bottom right. Am I dumb? I just use I like never use Windy. I use it for a few things. I haven't used it in so long. Oh, select parameters in the top right. Okay, here, hold up. Let me exit out of here. Hold up. Guys, I get arrange layers. Guys, I can't do this. Romance. Here, more layers. Am I blind? Someone help me. Am I blind? Don't use it. Makes people feel bad. I've literally changed the model the model I'm looking at so many times on here. Brother, like what? Sounds like, oh, I know, right? There, I got out of there. Sounds like firecrackers going off. I know, that's the lightning and Windy. Was that annoying, guys? Sam, is that a setup? It's not. Okay. Oh, this is, that's it. Oh, look at this. Learning about new models. Look at that. Look at that cyclogenesis. This thing becomes a land hurricane up there over Indiana or over Illinois. Let me actually bookmark that. Let me bookmark that bad boy. Always can use more. There we go. Mesomet teach me, Connor here. What? Is it going to be bad in Houston? I do think the slight risk is going to expand over Houston next week. I don't know if you'll get into an enhanced though. Pivotal Weather has a graph cast, does it? I mean, this is our Euro AI. Oh, it does. Duh. I mean, we don't have a future radar on here, though. We don't have like a composite reflectivity or anything like that. We've got temperatures, total quantitative precipitation, some winds, severe, just weird lapse rate. Okay. It's interesting what it chooses to have on here. Not much to work with. I'm sure that'll change over time. Oh, Outbreak? I should play Outbreak. I have Outbreak. I bought it. I should play Outbreak with him on stream. That would be sick. I should play Outbreak with him on stream. All right, let's look at what's going on with the GFS. We've got it decently loaded now. What have we got it loaded to? 147. Let's see what's going on, guys. That would be fun. We can get a whole team. Sant, you can get on with us. Here we go. Hey, Chicago. This thing is shifting south. This snow shifting south. We'll see if that trend continues. Some back-end snow into St. Louis, maybe. We got some Iowa. We'll see. That's interesting. A little bit of a shift south here. We're going to see the slight shift up to Kentucky, I think. Guys, look at this thing, man. This is a 972. This is a cyclone over land right here. Here we go. Look at this thing. 973, baby. There's cyclogenesis right there. Boom. There it is. Yeah, this thing's looking spicy. This thing is still looking spicy here. Maybe I'm seeing things. This looks like a little bit. This looks like this cold air is digging deeper on this latest GFS. Yeah, I think I'm not seeing things because we're seeing some snow showers down here into Tennessee. This would potentially, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a little bit more of a snow action down here with this cold air sinking a little bit farther on this latest GFS. We have to let it load a little bit more though. You don't have a PC? Go get one. Are we going to get snow here in Ohio soon? Going to travel up to Upper Peninsula, Michigan on the light snow. You could get some. Look at this back end snow with this thing. Who knows if this drops 1 to 3 inches through here, portions of the Ohio Valley. It's definitely a possibility. 150 hours out. We'll see if it changes. The Euro brings some pretty cold air in behind that as well. The Euro keeps us farther to the north, but this is 12Z data, so the Euro brings a little bit of back-end snow through Ohio, nothing major. Maybe some clipper action though. There's gonna be a window here moving into the second week of March for snow in the Ohio Valley. It's not a huge window, but a small window. I'm not seeing any blizzards in your forecast right now. Will Atlanta see tornadoes like the last severe storm? Atlanta, Georgia's probably going to see. I would expect most of these states to see like one. I mean, we're going to have a major slight. I think our slight's not going to be that big. I think our slight's going to expand and we're going to have a marginal risk. I think tornadoes in tornadoes in Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia are pretty likely. Maybe some weaker ones out here as we push out east again. I think those would be more like QLCS. I don't think we're going to have too much major supercell activity as we push out here. I think it's more going to be squall line tornadoes. But yeah, the strong ones I'm worried about are to the west of Georgia. But that's right now. We have to see how this thing develops. I'd expect the chance to be decent to get a couple tornado touchdowns in Georgia, but we're still talking pretty far out. It's just, the SBC puts a 6-7 day outlook on something, risk zone on something when they're very confident and the weather being pretty severe. Yeah, let's see. We're at 162. We're at 162. What are our temperatures looking like with this thing? Freezing line. I was surprised when I woke up and snowing. Where are you, Stiz? No, I mean, Houston may see some. Houston's going to be... I think Houston may end up being put in this slight. I think this slight's going to expand a little bit, so we're watching Houston potentially. Houston's, I think, definitely going to be in a marginal, but you guys might end up in a slight. Snowing in Pittsburgh? Oh, border. And then, Stiz, you said your border of Mass and New Hampshire right now? I don't see any snow on the radar up there right now. That's so weird. Are you talking about this morning? And then, yeah, we do have some snow in Pittsburgh. Light snow. I mean, it could be actually coming down. Actually, it could be coming down pretty hard right now. You guys are so close to that just being mixing. I'm surprised that's snow as well with the temperatures you have. Actually, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's see. Get me into... oh my god, I need to get less. I need to get less bookmarks, guys. They're starting to grow. That's a scale analysis. What are our temperatures up here? It's snowing in Pittsburgh, eh? Surface observations. It's 36 degrees in Pittsburgh. But it's cold aloft, so that's fine. Yeah. I wouldn't expect too much to stick, but maybe a little bit. We had snow accumulate here when it was... We had about a half-inch accumulate here this year, and it was like 41 degrees outside because it was so cold aloft. It snowed for so long, eventually the surface temperatures cooled. 11:21. Yeah, I need to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep. I just want to see what's going to happen with this latest. Here's our second system moving in back here. I want to see what's going to happen around this time frame out here. Is PA going to see any more snow this year? Well, PA is seeing snow right now. It's snowing in Pittsburgh. But if you're talking about southeastern PA, Philly, or eastern PA, yeah, we have potential to. This is a pretty big band of snow right there. This is actually a strong little band of snow right there. Come on, GFS. Do we have timing yet on storms in Atlanta on Wednesday? I can show you what the latest timing is. It may not be perfect, though. We may see that begin to change. God, this is weird. We have like a negative... What looks to be like a negative tilting trough here. 1 second. I'll show you that. Give me 1 second. I want to look at this really quickly. What's our... This is a super negatively tilting trough out here. It's off. I wish that would be happening here. It would be a nor'easter for the Northeast. But this is gonna be some strong winds through here. We're gonna have some winds punching through this region after this storm moves out next week. Thursday into Friday. Man, this thing has so much potential. Bring this 1,000 miles inland, please. Bring it inland. 177. This is a lot of cold air, and you're seeing like this energy, this kind of like clipper energy through here. I'm interested to see. Someone's going to get snow a little bit farther south here than they think next week. Probably Thursday through Sunday, sometime next week. We're going to see, if we continue to see this cold air trending to the south, which we have been. We're seeing this latest push of cold air back here again on the GFS as well. So something to watch out for. Yeah, I don't know. Something may happen here. We might get something happening here. We'll see. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We're at 180 hours. Mom of 3, what's going on? Don't bring snow, Connor. Feed AIDS. Yeah. So timing right now. Okay, so we'll look at the latest GFS for timing wise. Atlanta. When does it look like that severe weather is going to roll through? The worst of it. Very early in the morning Wednesday. Right now it's looking like Tuesday 11 p.m. to Wednesday 6 a.m. is like the time frame. But very early in the morning Wednesday is what it looks like right now when most people are sleeping. That's as of right now. We could see that change. But for the severe weather in Atlanta. Yeah, Colorado will get more snow. That's it, forecast. Yep. Definitely. See, there's something trying to happen here. And what is this? What does our vorticity look like? I just feel like we're going to get some divergence here, and we could get a low pressure. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but I mean, I know what I'm looking at. I'm just saying I don't know. I think there's going to be an opportunity here. Wish this thing would load a little quicker. This is beginning to look impressive right here as well. As this continues to load in. Sorry, guys. I'm just like, I get really obsessive when these new models come out. I'm like, I need to see every single step. Interesting. Okay. Snow in Michigan. You guys have some clippers moving through to your northern Michigan. Southern, not much. We're not seeing much. Potentially a clipper system there next Monday. And we'll see about this. This is your latest GFS. This wants to be pretty major snow, but it's mostly for western and northern Michigan. This is trended south. You can almost see it wanting to put snow in Chicago. Almost. The 972 millibar low. We'll see. We have to watch this. This could trend farther east, and then that would end up being a big snowstorm for most of Michigan. It could. So we'll watch it. Maine, what's going on? I appreciate you. $918 millibar. Where are you seeing that? Did I say 918? Yeah, that would be it. We don't even get bomb cyclones that get that low. Northern Texas, good. See some more snow. I don't see anything for southern or central right now. March nor'easter of 2025. Book it. Yeah, I wish. I mean, it's a possibility. We'll see. I want to subscribe, but I can't. What? No. Anything for PA soon? Well, again, we're gonna have a cool down this weekend. This is interesting to me. Big drive of cold air next week. You look at your weather apps; it doesn't say it's getting that cold next Thursday through Saturday. I think that they may be underdoing it, and I think we may have an opportunity for a little bit of. I think we may have an opportunity for a system to form through here. So I don't know. The Euro kind of likes a secondary. You have this low moving up off the coast, and the Euro likes a secondary system to form here and move up. Again, I don't want to put this out there too much when we're this far out. So I'll talk about it in my video tomorrow. I think we'll get some good updates with our 12Z tomorrow. We may see something out there. Alan, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I didn't see your chats because I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok. Will Texas see any more snow? I think I already answered that. I doubt it's going to be hard to get more snow into Texas if you're not in the north. I do have to go to bed, though. I posted a pretty long video about the severe weather on my TikTok and YouTube today and Instagram. Tomorrow, I will go probably a little bit more in depth on the snow potential, and then the next day I'll go back into the severe weather potential because there's some interesting stuff going on with some of the snow and cold air placement as well over the next 2 weeks. So maybe I'll talk about that's what's going on with the stratospheric polar vortex too. It's interesting what that could do to the end of March with cold air and snow as well. So we have to watch that. I appreciate all you being in here, and appreciate any new followers, any new subs, anyone gifted, just you guys being in here chatting. I will be back on tomorrow. I'll be posting another video tomorrow, like I said, like I always do. This is a daily thing. So everyone have a great night. Happy Friday. It's about to be Friday for us. So let's have a good weekend, and I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Alrighty. Good night, everyone. See you.